What are you watching?
What are you watching? Elodie, le film!
Here's the story script. Oh, dear friends, gather round and listen closely, for I have a tale to tell that will leave your heart heavy and your spirit crushed. A tale of deceit, of neglect, of utter disregard for the well-being of innocent souls. I speak, of course, of my most recent adventure at the woefully misnamed Hotel Zora, Primoten. As I stepped into the hotel's tired, worn lobby, a faint sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach. The air was thick with the scent of stale cigarettes and yesterday's cleaning products. I should have turned back then, but alas, I was too optimistic, too trusting. The receptionist, a gruff, disinterested individual, handed me my key with all the enthusiasm of a condemned man on his way to the gallows. I made my way to my room, my heart sinking with each creaky step. The door creaked open to reveal a space that seemed frozen in time, a relic of the 90s that had been left to gather dust and cobwebs. But, I thought, perhaps the room would be the only disappointment. Oh, how wrong I was. The bed, a sagging, lumpy monstrosity, seemed to be begging me to leave. The TV, an ancient, boxy affair, refused to work, its screen flickering with an otherworldly glow. And the fridge, oh, the fridge. A noisy, rattling beast that seemed to be mocking me with its very presence. But I digress. The real tragedy, the true crime, was the food. Oh, the food. A culinary abomination, a gastronomic nightmare. The coffee, bitter and over-extracted, tasted like someone had poured all their disappointment and heartache into a single cup. The breakfast, a meager, uninspired affair, seemed to be an afterthought, a mere formality. And don't even get me started on the dinner. A half-hearted, uninspired mess, served with all the finesse of a sleepy sloth. The meat, tough and flavorless, seemed to be crying out for mercy, for someone, anyone, to put it out of its misery. The service, if you could even call it that, was abysmal. Our server, a sullen, uninterested individual, seemed to be going through the motions, a zombie-like automaton with all the charm of a wet sock. But, I ask you, dear friends, what's the point of even having a restaurant if the food is an affront to the senses? Is it not a fundamental human right to expect a decent meal? And yet, Hotel Zora, Primoten, seems to be operating under some sort of twisted, sadistic principles, deliberately setting out to disappoint, to disillusion, and to disillusion. And then, of course, there was the beach. Ah, the beach. A beautiful, idyllic spot, marred only by the presence of, you guessed it, Hotel Zora, Primoten. The beach chairs, ostentatious, grasping attempt to part you from your hard-earned cash, seemed to be mocking me, laughing at my naivety, my trusting nature. But, I ask you, dear friends, is it not our right, as paying customers, to expect a certain level of, I don't know, basic human decency? Is it not our right to expect a clean room, a decent meal, and a friendly smile? And yet, Hotel Zora, Primoten, seems to be operating under some sort of twisted, arrogant principle, that somehow, someway, we, the customers, will just accept, will just tolerate, their subpar, their abysmal, their downright embarrassing attempts at hospitality. Well, I say, no more. It's time to stand up, to speak out, to shout from the rooftops about the injustices, the travesties, the sheer, unadulterated incompetence of Hotel Zora, Primoten. So, dear friends, I ask you, will you stand with me? Will you join me in this righteous crusade against the forces of mediocrity, against the perpetrators of this heinous crime against humanity? Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can bring Hotel Zora, Primoten, to its knees. Together, we can create a world where customers are treated with dignity, with respect, and with a decent cup of coffee. So, comment below, dear friends, and let us rise up, let us take a stand, and let us show Hotel Zora, Primoten, that we will no longer be silenced, we will no longer be ignored, and we will no longer be treated like dirt. The reality of businesses near Hotel Zora, Primoten. The businesses near Hotel Zora, Primoten, are a lesson in disappointment. If you are expecting charm, quality, or even basic competence, prepare to lower your expectations, dramatically. This isn't just about a few bad apples. The entire area seems infected with the same disease, mediocrity, inflated prices, and service that ranges from indifferent to outright hostile. Let's start with shopping. If you were hoping for a pleasant retail experience, think again. Shopping centers here are bleak. Dalmare Limited is the perfect example, a place where variety goes to die. Stores are sparse, Prices are high, and the selection feels like it was curated by someone who hates joy. One visitor described it as very poor, which is almost poetic in its understatement. The transport situation is a joke. No bus stops nearby, so unless you enjoy sprinting after moving vehicles, consider walking. Hygiene? Forget it. Masks were worn as chin straps during peak pandemic times, because clearly, breathing safely is optional. The only highlight? A security guard who actually did his job, once. Now, let's talk relaxation. Soulstice Day Spa and Salon promises luxury but delivers despair. This is not a spa. It's a salon with an identity crisis. Mother's Day turned into a financial ambush for one guest who paid $400 for the privilege of sitting in an uncomfortable chair, watching her pedicurist ignore her calluses while her nails were butchered. Another left in tears after a haircut that felt like sabotage. Staff gossip about clients openly, facials involve products slapped on haphazardly, and don't even ask for a robe. It's not that kind of place. The owner's attitude? Pay up and suffer quietly. Hungry? Konoba Toni is waiting to test your patience. The restaurant's specialty? Making you wait. Tables sit empty while staff ignore you, then seat you in the worst spot possible, because nothing says welcome like being treated like an inconvenience. The food? Small portions buried under mountains of fries, drowning in salt or unfinished wine reduction. One guest described their shrimp pasta as alcohol with a side of shrimp, which sounds like a bad night out rather than a meal. Thirsty? Bau Bar is your next stop, if you enjoy being scolded for ordering drinks. The cocktails are tiny, overpriced, and suspiciously lime-heavy. Want to relax in your swimsuit? Too bad. You'll be shooed out like a stray cat unless you're bone dry. Former patrons mourn the old Bau Bar, where drinks were plentiful and staff didn't act like you were ruining their day just by existing. And then there's Aurora Club, a place where logic goes to die. The music is so loud it could wake the dead, yet somehow, the club is always closed when it claims to be open. Drinks cost more than your dignity, and if you cut yourself on broken glass? Good luck. First aid consists of a kitchen towel and whiskey poured reluctantly by a bartender who clearly resents your existence. Art shop unique? The lone neutral review, Dobra could mean anything. Maybe it's decent. Maybe the reviewer was being held at gunpoint. We'll never know. Conclusion: if you're staying at Hotel Zora, pack your patience, and maybe a sandwich. The businesses here operate on a different wavelength, one where customer satisfaction is an alien concept. Overpriced, underwhelming, and often outright rude, they're a masterclass in how not to run a hospitality scene. Recommendations: bring snacks. You'll need them. Double-check opening times. Closed seems to be the default setting. Manage expectations. This isn't luxury. It's survival. Final thought? Maybe just stay at the hotel. At least there, the disappointment has a pool. Script content. You know, I was just looking into things around Hotel Zora, Primoten, like what tourists should be careful about, and it's sad, you know? Some people just want to take advantage. Like, businesses near Hotel Zora, Primoten. Some of them, they just see tourists and think, oh, easy money. There was this one place, a souvenir shop, not far from the beach. Tourists would come in, buy little things, and then, boom. The price on the receipt was way higher than what was on the tag. And when people complained, the seller would just shrug, like, oops, mistake. But it happened too many times to be a mistake, you know? I bet those tourists just paid and left, feeling cheated, but what could they do? They're on vacation, they don't want trouble. And then, oh my god, the ice cream stands. Some of them near Hotel Zora, Primoten, they don't even show prices. So you order, thinking it's normal, and then, what? €5 for one scoop? In other places, it's half that. And if you ask, they just say, well, this is tourist area. Like, that's not an excuse. I bet some families just paid, too embarrassed to argue, but it's so unfair. Oh, and taxis. Not exactly a store, but still, near Hotel Zora, Primoten, some drivers see foreigners and suddenly the meter magically doesn't work. Fixed price, they say. And it's always, like, 3 times what it should be. I imagine tourists getting in, excited for their day, and then scammed before they even reach the beach. And the drivers? Probably just laughing later, because who's gonna chase them down? It's just depressing. You come to a beautiful place like Hotel Zora, Primoten, and some people ruin it. I hope those tourists at least left bad reviews. Maybe then things will change. But probably not.